In this video, we are about to explore how XRP reaches $10,000. Is that just speculation, or is that real demand that's going to drive adoption? We are about to find out on this video. If you hold XRP or you are thinking to buy some XRP, you need to watch this video. We are about to go on a deep dive. I'm about to show you one of the greatest XRP explanations I ever found on the internet. I give full credits to Versan. We're gonna watch this video together. I'm gonna give you my personal perspective about what is being presented on this video. And we will talk about the global monetary shift that's happening in real time. XRP is paving the way for the introduction of a new monetary system. In a world where information flows freely and easy, money has to do the same. And with geopolitical tensions on the rise, the financial system is craving for a neutral bridge asset, an asset that can't be controlled by any sovereign nations, neither it can be influenced by any particular group. The time for a monetary reset has already begun. Now let's watch this video together.
Today, we're going to be diving deep into a crucial topic. I know there are a lot of new people in the XRP space who are now investing in this, and I think it's important to discuss the valuation and price discovery of XRP. And this video is going to be based on its intended use case. So it's important to clarify that this video will not be a speculative discussion. We're going to try our best to understand the monumental role of XRP that it's playing in the global financial system, and why its value is really designed to be far beyond what most people can imagine. And I think it's important to start by clarifying that XRP is not your average cryptocurrency. It's the plumbing of the new financial system. It's being built to replace the crumbling infrastructure of the old system. So XRP was designed with a specific purpose, and that was to facilitate infinite scalability and solve a multi-trillion-dollar problem, essentially all the money in the world. Its design and intended use cases were never aimed for retail investors. XRP was built for institutions. And when I say institutions, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about those who manage and control the flow of capital across the whole world. So to understand its value, I think it's important that you think beyond the typical investor mindset, which doesn't really get you anywhere anymore, and see XRP for what it truly is. It's the backbone of a tokenized global economy, and that's where this is all heading. So we can confirm that.
Der zeitliche Druck, so schnell wie möglich etwas zu tun gegen diesen drohenden Kollaps. Und da wird man natürlich auf das zurückgreifen, was da ist. Ripple ist da mit seinem Angebot, und wenn die Zeit für Ripple spielt, dann kann Ripple durchaus die World Reserve Bridge Currency werden. Und wenn das der Fall ist, dann kann man das hier streichen und eine 4 oder eine 5 hinmachen.
Now we're going to consider the traditional financial system, riddled with insolvencies, deficits, and overwhelming debt. Even the derivatives market alone is a ticking time bomb, with trillions and trillions of dollars in unbacked exposure, which could of course, blow up and cascade into the banking system, crashing all the banks. Perfect for JP Morgan. They'll come in and just buy everything else out, just like they did in 2008, just like what they did in 1929. This is what they do. They consolidate the banking system. Problem, reaction, solution, ladies and gentlemen. This is all adding to the stagnant commodities market as well, because of the outdated settlement systems, which kind of adds friction to the system and puts more risk in the banking sector. We even look at central banks. They're struggling with monetary inefficiencies. So what do they need? They need a solution. What's needed is a bridge. It's a solution that can link these failing systems to a new modern system that is being built, one that is interoperable and efficient with the financial infrastructure. And that's where XRP comes in, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple is the company that has been quietly building the global rails for this transformation through their technology called RippleNet. And RippleNet is really an interconnected system that allows the institutions to transact seamlessly amongst each other. But it's XRP that actually powers the liquidity, powers the settlement capabilities of this very network to which everything is being built upon.
He just mentioned RippleNet. Ripple has built all of the liquidity corridors necessary to transform XRP into a global reserve currency. This week alone, we had a major revelation from Brad Garlinghouse himself, Ripple CEO. $13 trillion are already processed annually utilizing Ripple Treasury. And this is not yet being processed utilizing blockchain technology. In other words, they are not yet utilizing XRP or the XRP ledger. So this is still a massive opportunity for XRP to capture just a fraction of that capital. And get this, the Clarity Act is around the corner. 90% chance is going to be approved within April 2026. So ladies and gentlemen, we are in the verge of a massive transformation.
That means it's about interoperability as well. So not just cross-border payments, but interoperability. So XRP's utility then would mean that it comes from its ability to also connect various digital assets, various traditional financial systems like the BRICS nations, and even tokenized economies like what we see in China, which makes XRP indispensable in a world where everything seems to be moving towards a blockchain-based solution system. That means XRP's value is in its network, and its network is global. Ripple has been building the rails for all this, and they continue to expand until this very day. Everything is being released in a strategically and coordinated fashion that converges with the direction of the world economy and the geopolitical landscape. So Ripple's partnerships with banks, with governments, and financial institutions worldwide, I think, underscore the importance of what XRP is actually doing in this whole transition. As these partnerships mature and regulatory clarity emerges, and I think that's what we're seeing with Gary Gensler leaving the SEC, the price of XRP will naturally reflect the demand that it was designed to meet.
This is not a joke. Endless partnerships. You can see over there, Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Euro Foundation, just massive. IMF, Bank of International Settlements. Every major financial institution you can think of is involved in Ripple's XRP. World Economic Forum. Rose Real signed a $100 bill. BlackRock is involved. I have no doubts. Ripple is not a private company.
Its finite supply of, 100 billion tokens burned with each and every transaction, that ensures that its usage only grows. So does its value then. So this is all driven by scarcity. And that's important to factor in when we're talking about a digital asset like XRP. So to meet the institutional scale demand, that means XRP's price needs to climb significantly. And we talked about this before. There are other experts out there who have estimated that the price would exceed over $10,000. I told people in 2021 that I saw it hit $327,000, and that really did happen. It's true. I did see it in a YouTube video in 2021 based out of Japan. And there are other people in this space who have put projections going as high as $1 million. And we can even tie this into something that's even more intriguing, and it's how central banks are aligning with this shift. Basel III regulations from the Bank for International Settlements actually require central banks to hold substantial reserves of physical gold. But the future is not about physical gold, it's about digital gold. And XRP fits the bill for this because RippleNet also enables the central banks to tokenize physical assets like gold, like bonds, and even debt, which will help stabilize the currency which will help restructure the economy and stabilize the economy as well. So XRP provides the liquidity then that is needed to settle these transactions instantly. That effectively acts as the reserve currency of a tokenized economy. And I said this before, XRP is not trying to replace the role of the dollar. It's not trying to become the world reserve currency. It's already on its way to becoming the world's digital reserve currency and settlement mechanism. This is where I tie it even deeper into the dual system approach that is already evident. It's been talked about by the IMF, and XRP caters to what institutional needs. XLM was really designed for the whole peer-to-peer transactions. Like you wanted to pay me, you would pay me with XLM. And together, they actually create that complementary framework. That's the dual currency monetary system that actually serves both the central banks and the private sector.
And remember this, XRP is built for financial enterprises. Stellar XLM is built for peer-to-peer transactions. They are not competing with each other. They are complementary technologies. There won't be one blockchain to rule them all, but there will be a handful of blockchains that are going to play a pivotal role in the new financial system. Stellar is definitely among them. XRP Ripple is number one. I 100% believe XLM is definitely undervalued.
What is a solid platform for a financial system? Is to have what we call a two-tier banking system. I mean, in every financial transactions, you always have a payment site. So you have to make sure that that payment site is in place. What are the keys for the payment site in every financial transaction? It's basically commercial bank money, and at the end of the day, central bank money, because any commercial bank money transaction settles in the central bank. So to do this, you need tokenized commercial bank money and tokenized central bank money, not necessarily at the retail level, but at the wholesale level.
This is what the vision has always been. I really believe that. And it's this unified financial system. Of course, there's a lot of resistance in all this because XRP being attacked by the SEC, that's not an accident, ladies and gentlemen. If you look back at history, the SEC always goes for disruptors. They went after Uber, they went after Netflix, they went after Apple, they went after Google. So anyone that's disrupting these traditional systems, they'll use the SEC to go after them. And that's what happened with the Ripple lawsuit. It was a very calculated move to slow down the adoption, to suppress the awareness of it, even though me and many of our peers in the XRP community have tried so hard to push this out for many years. So the delisting of XRP from major exchanges, you also have 1,700 non-disclosure agreements with Ripple that they have with governments and other financial institutions, which also further highlight the behind-the-scenes activity. Even Ripple in the past has referred to XRP as a world reserve